Good morning, seniors. It is Tuesday the 30th, last day of November. We are about to start our headlong run into finals and then the Christmas vacation. So, again, just want to remind you to make sure you stay focused, that you are driving toward that goal of that grade that you are expecting or that you want, the grade that you think you deserve. Make sure that you're doing what you can to be getting to that point. Let's take a look at what we've got going on today. We're kind of revising things a little bit from yesterday. We didn't get quite as far as we wanted to yesterday, so we're just going to kind of revise it a little bit. First off, if you go into today's date, you'll see that there's a question. We're going to end on this question, but I want to show it to you first because this is going to give you a way to start thinking about things. So the question that we are looking at is asking you to compare and contrast. So we started talking about chivalry really before Thanksgiving, but we are talking about this idea of chivalry being this code of respect and courtesy for people. We looked at what it looks like in the military a little bit. We talked about what it might be in our society. We'll continue to talk more about that today. But the idea is that we want to look at what was the code of chivalry and what do we have today. Now, we don't really have chivalry so much. I think a lot of those ideals still come across, but this idea that there is this kind of standard, okay? This is the way we treat people. And what we want to do is we want to be able to draw parallels between then and now. We know it's not the same, and that's not what we're asking you to say. But what we are looking at is how can you compare things across, in this case, centuries, right? Are there parallels, and are there ways that we continue to see that come through today? That the standards we had then, do they still kind of percolate into today's society? So we're looking at comparing and contrasting. To do that, we're going to look at those pro-con articles from yesterday. So we'll go into yesterday's assignment. We'll open those up. There's those two articles, the pro and the con, and we're going to be asking you to analyze those two and say, okay, this one is better than that one, but why? Now, obviously, I think that you're probably going to want to choose. I think that you will probably land on the one that you agree with most. You'll say that that was the one that made the better argument because you already believe it. I can understand where you're coming from there. But what we're going to ask you to do is say, why is this a better argument? So you're going to have to be very critical and look and say, okay, here's what they said. Here's what they said. Here's what they said. Why is that so good? Why is that so powerful? Why does that really support the point? And so in the answer, then we're going to ask you to do that. So that's illustrate. So it's taking a position. This article. We're going to say, here's why. You're going to pull some examples. You're going to illustrate your answer by pulling out those examples, right? And then you're going to analyze those examples to prove how you got there. So that's that analysis piece or that explaining piece, right? Here is what I saw, and this is why it was so meaningful to me. This is an open question, open classroom question, meaning that everybody can see your answers. So I do want to remind you that we do want to be civil in our discourse here. We don't want to get off the rails and talk about, things that aren't really related to this. We're asking, this article is better than this article and why, and using the examples in the text, okay? Those examples can be copied and pasted. That's really straightforward, okay? Or you can paraphrase them, either one you want. But the real key is your explanation, your analysis of that. If you need help, please make sure that you're reaching out to either me or Miss McGuire so that we can get you the help you need and get you to that grade that you are aiming for. Good luck.